So it's interesting that the average guys in society get the short end of the stick. When they try to go to singles events or when they're on dating apps, it's you're not tall enough, you don't make enough money, you're not good looking enough, you're not big enough down there, and so many other excuses. But what happens? What happens when the hot guys run into some of these women out in the wild? How will they respond? Let's get into it.
When it comes to modern dating, girls love to tell you that you need a great profile, solid openers, and plan an amazing first date. But in reality, the guys they actually swipe on and sleep with do not give a
Trying to start a conversation. Hey cutie, how's your weekend? Shit in my mouth.
So this guy says to me, oh, well, I showed your Instagram to my roommate and he said, oh, she's pretty, but she looks chubby in her photos. On a date, on an actual date.
The most unhinged things men have said to me while we were dating. One, yeah, there's a girl in my bed, but I left her to have breakfast with you.
I just had the worst first date of my life. Date invited myself along with 2 other women so that he could speed up the process of finding his perfect 3-way.
So Liam messaged saying, and the award for the biggest forehead goes to.
His opening message to me, I eat.
Do you like to be punished?
So I was talking to this guy and he was literally ticking every single box.
It was a really hot guy that I matched with on Hinge.
He was good looking,
Has a driver, and it was a really nice car.
too good to be true, right? He rang me up and he was like, I've just noticed your profile picture and I can see on your profile picture that you've got a child. Why would I want to speak to anyone who had little fuckers?
Yep, that's right. Hot guys do not give a but ironically, it is women who let them get away with it over and over again.
And I make my cute little profile like, oh, hi, I'm Morgan, tee. And he's like one of the first ones that pops up. And he's gorgeous. Oh my God.
See, she picked the hot dude just for being hot, not because of some great bio and not because he planned a great first date.
So we pull up to this bar and this thing is like a hole, like a rat hole.
No personality.
When he's talking, all I hear is like, oh, football frats.
And being rude as
Got his hand on my legs, I'm telling the story, he cuts me off in the middle of me telling my story and he goes, I just want you to know you're not my person. And so I was like, in my head I'm sitting like, why would he just cut me the off to say that?
Yep, this is what happens when women complain about men being trash. By the way, spoiler alert, he still the shot of her later that night.
I'm not gonna tell you all the rest because like I will be banned, but my God, what a night.
And so you see, the dating market is absolutely but the reality is, it's women who are rewarding this type of bad behavior.
And all I can think is, you catfished me and now you drop this bombshell and you still expect me to date you? Are you insane? But I kept dating him.
So why the hell would any of these guys ever change? Since if you have access to a buffet of pussy while being an asshole,
a Hinge notification pops up on his phone, like for everyone to see. It was like clearly out there. We both literally looked at it and then looked at each other, and then he carried on talking to me as if nothing had happened.
Then what's the incentive to treat any of these women with some basic level of respect? I mean, you can just tell them to their face to submit and obey.
To submit and obey to me. That is a direct quote.
And he's like, you know, you just need to be quiet and let me take the lead. You don't have to pretend to be someone you're not.
And then he was like, also you should know that anal is amazing on MDMA. And I was just like,
oh my God. Please drop a like if you think that these guys absolutely do not care anymore, and comment down below what you think. Now you just know that these women are gonna say that all men are trash, and that is why dating sucks right now. But we all know that the majority of men would never talk to a woman like that. But women are not dating the majority of men. They're only dating a small subsection.
So he picks me up, he's not bad looking, he has a nice car, he's pretty tall, okay.
And so clearly, if you are an average guy, you need to get off the dating apps ASAP because they are a waste of time, waste of money.
I did pay, unfortunately, for Bumble Premium. It was hard. So I did 1 week, which I think was $29.99.
And there's so many better options to get dates as an average looking dude. And I might make a separate video breaking all of this down. But in this video, it's all about hot guys up the dating market and the women who let them. So instead, I'll throw in some boy tips at the end just for funsies if you want to try it for yourself.
Let's plan to go on a date, like when you want to come down. And he was like, oh, is it okay if I stay over? And I was like, we all know what we're here for. Yes, you can stay over.
Anyways, before we get into all of that, let's get back to the brutal reality of hot guys rampaging through the dating market, leaving a trail of emotional damage.
You know, it's funny that these modern women say that men don't know how to control their bodies, their lust, and then they're here. Once again, we don't have to do a background check because you're going to tell us exactly what type of foolishness that you're into. So men can't keep it in their pants. They can't control themselves. They mess with anything walking. But here you are in 4K on Front Street telling us that neither can you. You can't even keep your pants on. That's what you're telling us. Girl, shut up.
And I don't know, I just feel like in this day and age, in this generation with the apps and blah, 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 all that kind of stuff, I just feel like it's hard. It's hard. I think it's hard. I think dating now is very hard.
If one more person says to me, don't worry, it'll happen when you least expect it, I have no expectations anymore. None. All I expect is trauma and lessons.
Now the guys that are causing all of this mess are drowning in pussy so much to the point that they don't even care about showing up for the date, and these girls just keep waiting there until they feel so embarrassed that they just want to cry.
You don't leave someone sitting alone waiting for you for 40 minutes. Like, I almost cried because I felt so embarrassed.
Yeah, that's not great. But sadly, it can always get much, much worse because this girl took 2 days off of work, traveled all the way from Queensland to Melbourne on a 2-hour flight to spend the weekend with some dude she was talking to for the past weeks, only for him to ghost her the minute she landed.
He kept saying we need to catch up, and I was like, well, do you want me to come down Easter weekend? He said, absolutely. I landed this morning. We've been talking all day. I was meant to meet him this evening. I got all dressed up and ready to go. That was it.
I wonder if these modern women take a step back and say, wait a minute, this sucks. I wonder if I've been treating other men like this. Maybe I should stop. But they're not going to learn their lesson. They're going to go back out there and do this and continue to get the same thing that they've been getting and die alone.
That was the last I've heard. Just vanished, poof, into thin air.
Ouch, that's gotta sting. But yeah guys, that's the reality. These are the type of men these women are swiping on and hooking up with, since no one actually gives a f about your personality or charm when they are swiping on these dating apps.
Gilmore Girls? Oh, he got a Ferrari, Jenna.
Should I super like him?
Yeah.
We've matched a few times in the past. He's stunning.
My first impressions was, my lord, you are tall.
Who is Jack?
Oh!
You don't even know if he has a Ferrari. This is what they be saying on dates. Oh, he didn't even have a Ferrari, he faked it. Okay. They don't use any common sense. They just, once again, driven by lust.
Oh, super like.
They all say they do, but in reality, they are all lying. Because when it gets time to actually swipe, respond to a message, and show up to a date, they all go for the hot guy. Remember the my mouth girl?
In my mouth.
Yep, that one. Now she did not instantly unmatch and block the dude. She actually responded,
What do you mean? What do you mean? So I just asked what drugs he was on tonight, and he didn't answer.
So he said something absolutely crazy, and he still got a response. While most men will never even get a response to a friendly, hey, how's your day?
In any case, I would only get like 1 to 2 matches per month. And the problem is a lot of those didn't even transpire in the dates anyway, because sometimes I would send a message to them and I would never get a message back, and it would just kind of fizzle out from there.
And here's another one.
He said, LOL, I meant more the spooning, but sure, we can do a date. And I said, oh, you're just looking for someone to spoon. He said, that's exactly it. I said, oh, I'm looking for more out of this app. This guy's response.
Penetration, classic. So clearly, dating apps are f***ed, and if you can't beat them, join them and start.
So if we look at our matches, we got 64 matches within 48 hours.
Play on, player. Play on.
In any case, I would only get like 1 to 2 matches per month.
Because if you want to pump and dump like a hot dude and you don't have the looks, it is still possible, but you're gonna have to use some highly unethical methods, but very effective.
And I actually did have a decent amount of success, but for one reason only. I was forced to be someone that I wasn't.
Now, use them at your own risk because I will not be responsible for any of the consequences resulting from applying these, okay?
Hey, y'all don't do that. Don't do that. Y'all don't want to waste your time. Y'all don't want to catch nothing either. Don't do that.
Since I once had a dude who got his car totaled after I taught him how to bang a tall hottie, since it turns out she actually had a boyfriend. So yeah, any problems you get into, that's on you. Now again, I do not recommend doing any of this, and I think that if you want to date, you should try to meet a wholesome person off the apps, since that will lead to more fulfillment in life. However, if you want a glimpse into the life of a boy and are only interested in pumping and dumping, then listen up. First of all, nobody cares about your personality on these apps. Since you're not swiping on personality, you're swiping on looks.
Ooh, 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 ooh. Aww. I would heart it for the dog. Do it.
And second, which is the most important quality of being a successful boy, and that is to lie. Lie like your life depends on it. Because the true art of being an excellent boy is giving a girl exactly what she wants, even though you absolutely do not have it.
But he said, I love you, so it felt exclusive to me. Stupid.
You see, boys are working with an amazing body and a great face, and still they lie, which means that you have to lie even better and harder than a true boy. Because you're basically marketing a product, and that is all this comes down to, basic marketing. Which brings us to your dating profile. First up, lose the fat.
This is probably gonna be my #1 advice of all night. You need better photos.
Sorry, there's just no way around this, since if you want to pump and dump like a true boy, you're gonna have to be lean.
He is tall and skinny.
Now you don't have to be bulky and you don't need a lot of mass, but you do have to be lean. So stop eating garbage, do push-ups and jump rope daily, and in 3 weeks you can easily lose a ton of fat and look a whole lot better than you do right now. If you can't do that for just 3 weeks, you can't be okay? It's that simple. So now that you're nice and lean, edit the f out of your photos. Go outside and take a bunch of photos in different locations around the city. These don't have to be special, just have a coffee, sit somewhere, stare at a thing, point at a thing, do a thing. It really doesn't matter because we'll fix everything in post. Now, there's a ton of tutorials and apps out there on how to edit your photos. But don't just stop at fixing your face. Fix the background, fix the shirt, fix the sky, fix whatever you need to fix to make sure that this picture looks sexy as, okay? Now the goal is to look effortlessly sexy and affluent, not rich, just very comfortable with your money. Trust me, subtle signs of affluence work 10 times better than ostentatious signs. Because now you don't just look good, but your lifestyle also looks good. And you can easily bump yourself from a 6 to a 7 by losing weight and editing your photos, and you can bump yourself from a 7 to an 8 by editing your lifestyle. Perfect. Now we actually have something to work with.
That's a bar. That's a bar. That's a bar. Editing your lifestyle, that's crazy. And as you notice, there's something earlier in the video, the cadence with which these modern women talk, it's all the same. And we did this, and we went here, and we had this, and we did that. And then they get themselves in trouble, and then they let a man fool around on them, and then they get mad at all men, and they say that all men are trash, and they go through the same cycle, and they cry about it, but then they're going to fix it. That sort of thing.
And now we start swiping like a maniac. Don't worry about what the girl looks like, since you're still a baby at this and you need to get some flight hours in. It's a lot easier to talk a 5 or a 6 into giving you her number and set up a date than it is with the 8s and 9s. So you want to start practicing your conversation skills with everyone and level those up massively. Now, like I said, it's a lot easier if you actually travel a lot and live an interesting lifestyle, gaining a lot of general knowledge and interest. But if you don't, you just do what boys do and lie your ass off.
But he said, I love you, so it felt exclusive to me. Stupid.
Whatever she says, you connect with it and you add something awesome. So for instance, she's just back from visiting her grandma in Canada. Great, I love traveling, I'm going to Paris next week. You can teach me some French, let's meet up for drinks. Oh, you love cats? Here's my cat, Mr. Snuggles. Oh, you mean dogs? Sure, me too, here's Speedy. Doesn't matter. If she's super into eating organic and healthy foods, great, I just started making my own sourdough last week. Let's meet up for drinks and exchange recipes. It doesn't matter what she says, just make shit up and add to it. Now remember, nothing sexual.
That anal is amazing on MDMA.
You're not that hot, okay? Leave that to the pros. But do step on the gas. We're not looking for a pen pal situation here. Just get her number, get off the app, and set up a date.
I have like a 1 week rule. Like I'll talk to somebody for 1 week, and if they haven't asked me out like on a date, I'm just like.
Plus, you're not gonna meet her in the daylight. No coffee dates, no lunch dates or walks in the park. No, just drink dates at night only, and always at the best bars in town.
I will say that when I met my wife, I think we kind of talked on the app for maybe like a couple of days, and it was really, surface level conversation. And then I asked for a number, and I got it. I think is what it was, and we just started talking. Talked a lot. Probably talked too much. So there was a lot of questions, talking, knowing that we had to get up and go to work the next day. But yeah, I would say if anything, you definitely want to try to get the number as soon as possible and get off the app. I've had times to where I've been on the app and I straight up asked. There were like 2 or 3 times I was like, hey, if you're comfortable with it, would you like to give me your Instagram? Maybe we could talk offline, have a phone call or something like that. Something to that effect. And a couple of them were like, no, we can talk here. And then that's where we stayed. And then that one fizzled out. And then another one, she initially said no, but I think later on that day, and she was like, yeah, let's talk and get off the apps or something like that. So we talked. We're still friends today. Like, she's pretty cool, really cool, man, smart, out there doing it in the Midwest area. So yeah, she's really cool. But yeah, you get off the maps, man, because there's a lot of stuff going on, and the faster, like, you can, it's not like a race, but you're trying to establish your presence in her life, because there's so many people in her DMs. I think my wife was telling me she got on the app, and within like a day, it was like 3,000 people that liked her or something like that. And she was going through trying to talk to them, and they wouldn't respond here and there. And then I think she said I was the only one that she got to, at least, that we talked for like a day on the app. And then I was like, hey, why don't we talk on the phone? And so I think she was telling me, if you had not done that, I would have seen you as another dude. And so, like, all of these people, it's hard for me to visualize them as real people because I don't have a connection with them. I don't talk to them. So it's about getting a connection with the lady. And that's what I'm saying, that I'll have a conversation with you for 2 or 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours. Heck, I've even had conversations in one night for 5 hours. I'll be talking to them on the phone or FaceTiming. If I need to go to the store, I'll go to the store and get everything done that I need to get done while still being on the phone, laughing and all that stuff. And then by the end of the conversation, I'd be like, this is a good conversation, a good talk. I think you're a pretty good person. But if I wanted to be honest with you, I don't think we're going in the same direction. And I'll list the reasons why. Well, I think you're really particular about this. And for me, I think with how I am and how I work, how I think we're going to clash on that. I really do. And I'm not BSing you. I think you're going to be frustrated with it. I'm going to be frustrated with it. So I think as friends, we would work better. And I think there's like maybe 1 or 2 other things that I might give them in terms of, it's not necessarily you, but it's how our personalities mesh together is what I'll tell them.
Which is obviously a lie. It's going to be a cheap, low-light bar.
And this thing is like a hole.
Which hides your looks and protects your bank account because you're just looking to pump and dump. When you get to the final stage and
Ruth sent you a message?
and you walk in that door of that cheap bar wearing your Timbos, yep, I'm 6'2" and I still wear Timberlands all the time, since you can never be too tall as a guy. And so once she sees you, all she's gonna think is, he doesn't look quite as hot as I thought, but he's kinda cute, he's got a bit of money, and he seems very interesting, so let's just see where this goes. That is where you let your charm and personality reel her in so you can blow her back out. This was Hot Guys Are Brutal on Dating Apps. Please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel.
God, dog. God, y'all already know, don't do that. Don't do that. But there is some truth in what he's saying. These low-level women, they want to show. They want to be entertained. And that's why they be getting these quote-unquote high-value men with a lot of money that can invite them onto a yacht. I was listening to, in one of the video clips that I was reviewing, a woman talking about, I used to live in LA, but when I came down, I thought that was bad. But when I came down to Miami, it's crazy because a woman will say when you invite her, some women will say when you invite them on a yacht, how big is the yacht? I was like, what? What? You're going to ask me something that you're not even renting? That's crazy work. That's insane work. And they have the audacity will stand there and look at you in your face with all that plastic surrounding their body and say, now you got to measure up to my fake behind. Literally my fake behind. You got to give me something or else I'm not coming on this boat with you. That's the way they are, man. So they line up. I mean, it works. It works. It works out because you're lying about your lifestyle. And so are they. They lying about the way they look. They lying about the type of woman that they are. Both toxic people, in my opinion. But that is just that, my opinion. To the next video, I'm out.